So let me take a moment to explain the Helm Master control system to you. It is fully integrated boat control. And it's more than just a couple of pieces. And it's way more than just a joystick. The joystick, like I like to say, is the cherry on top of the sundae. It's really these 5 pieces that you see before you. So we have the wheel, the helm, the actual joystick, the binnacle controls or your throttle control. We also have the keyless starting system. And then we have our command link plus gauges. All 5 of these pieces work together to control our engines, to give us that boat control. A sideways push, a diagonal push, a spin while going diagonal. It's literally, if you can think about how you want your boat to move, this system can do that for you. And it all starts, we'll start with the wheel. The wheel is actually, it's kind of overlooked sometimes in this system, but what it does for you, it gives you, I like 3 basic features that it has. Now that we're in a digital world, we can control everything via software. So I can control my wheel as far as out-to-out ratio. What is out-to-out? If I have my wheels turned all the way to the left, so my engines are all the way to the left-hand side, how many turns of the wheel does it take to get them all the way to the right? I can manipulate this system to do as few as 4 turns, if you like a very touchy feel to your wheel, up to as many as 9. I prefer 6. 4 to me is a little tight, and 9's too many. I feel like I'm turning the wheel a lot, but that's a customer preference. The second part is we can control the friction in the wheel. Some folks like a very light, airy wheel. Feels like you're driving your car. Other folks prefer a little more friction to it, something a little more meat on the bone, if you will. The other beauty of that is we can control what RPM we switch from that light to heavy friction. So if we're in a rougher condition, I get above 4,000 RPM, it'll go from the light control to a heavier steering wheel. Helps you keep from oversteering while in rougher conditions. The third one is kind of a side benefit that not a lot of folks talk about, but the steering knob, because it is kind of a weighted deal, we generally wind up resting here, which is going to hit you in the stomach while you're driving. When the system is off, we can set the steering knob wherever we want, left hand, right hand, anywhere. As soon as I initialize the system and turn it on, that's where the steering knob is going to stay all day long. And of course we have the tilt of the wheel too for maximum comfort. Now let me talk to you about the binnacle controls of the Helm Master system. On here we have 6 different buttons. They're kind of an accessory. It's really the meat of the system as far as add-ons for us. We'll talk about the first one, which is speed control. For me, it's cruise control for your boat. Simply, there's a rocker switch at the top here that gives you a plus and a minus. As we advance in speed, it gives me about 50 RPM per push, up and down. I can use it when it's rough, or if I just need a little bit more speed for a finesse type of fishing, then that's when I typically use my speed control. Just a little bit more speed or a little less speed. Very handy. Second one is single lever. Single lever control simply removes the starboard throttle from the situation and just allows our engines to be controlled with our port side. Kind of handy when it's rough. You can just place your hand on top of the binnacle control and use your thumb and index finger to handle the throttle. The third one is station selector. On my Yellowfin, I have a second station and just simply switches between the two. Gives me control up or down. The fourth one is center engine. Center engine is used when we have more than 2 engines. You can have 3 engines or 4 engines in the Helm Master system. It's really a finesse fishing application. So let's say we're live baiting for sailfish and we're putting 4 350s in gear. Maybe our ballyhoos can't swim that fast, so we need to slow down a little bit. Instead of shutting engines off, we'll simply depress center engine, and it brings my center engines into play, giving me more control for speed for that finesse type of fishing. So the 5th button is our trim assist button. It's a fantastic feature. I use it all the time. This ensures that your boat, no matter who's driving it, is running at its optimum trim. Now this is 100% customizable for you on your boat because all boats are different. It'll give you the opportunity to set 4 RPM ranges or thresholds. So as I increase throttle, my trim will come up to whatever setting that you set that for, and as I come down, it will also bring the engines back down. So it ensures that your boat is operating at its peak trim. So you will be able to get the best fuel economy, the best speed, and the best handling. And the last one is free throttle. Free throttle is, let's call it neutral or fast idle. We use that. It really has 2 applications. The first one is, let's say we have low batteries. We can now push free throttle, advance the throttle, bring my RPMs up, use my alternator to help charge my batteries a little bit. What I primarily use it for is a safety feature. When there's a lot of people on the boat, I will definitely push that button, so no matter if somebody walks by and accidentally hits the throttles, the boat just is in neutral. It's not going to go anywhere. But because my Yellowfin has a second station, And whenever we're going up and down out of here, just in case somebody slips and falls and hits those throttles, that means the boat's going to sit still. Those are the main features of our binnacle control in the Helmmaster system.
Okay, Sean, so now we're going to put your lesson to good use here. We're going to get the boat underway. This is a 26-foot yellowfin hybrid with a pair of 200-horse Yamahas on it.
Our new inline 4-cylinders are super fuel efficient in addition to being able to handle the Helmmaster.
That's good, and they're digital, and they can take the latest and greatest electronics. So we're going to put everything you've taught us to practice right here.
Absolutely. Let me take you guys out here in the little harbor we have in Rhode Island. As you can see probably behind us on all the sailboats, the flags are absolutely ripping. They're standing up straight. We've probably got 15 knots of wind, I would say.
Probably, and it's perfect conditions to show off how well the system works.
Exactly.
With a guy who's got hundreds of hours
well,
using it.
you know, what he's going to say.
So,
but we also have a little current that's here
we
too.
do,
so it's pushing the boat a little bit differently. So it's a great time to show you guys how you can manipulate, be in complete control of your boat. So let's cast the lines off and give it a shot.
Absolutely. Let's give it a try. So now you're going to start the engines up?
Yep, we'll fire them up. And as you can see, the engines are in what we call the neutral position. So they're actually straight together. As I engage the system, they're going to cantilever out, which is going to give us the ability now to walk the boat sideways. Just a little bump there to get us back under control. And now we're just going to pull out away from the dock. All right, Eric, so as we come out, I could simply just make a left-hand turn. Yeah, that would be nice, but because we have the Helmmaster, we can do something a little cooler. We can
be too easy for you.
We can slide the boat sideways. So let me give you an example of that. As you can see, the engines are cantilevered out. All I'm going to do is push the joystick over to the left there to achieve sideways motion with outboard engines. There's no bow thruster attached here. I'm doing nothing with the wheel, nothing with the throttles. It's all controlled through the joystick. Now, as you can see, if you're watching behind us here, you can see we're literally jogging the boat sideways. All I'm doing, the wind has switched a little bit. Now it's hitting me on my port side. So all I'm doing as I'm going sideways is I'm gently twisting the joystick to ensure that my bow attitude is staying true. So I'm literally going sideways. Instead of the bow getting a little bit ahead or behind, I can manipulate the boat any way I want.
So while you're pushing it sideways, you just twist back and forth slightly to keep the boat lined up.
That's right. I'm giving it just a little twist to the left because the wind is pushing my bow to the right.
And you're going into the wind.
And I'm going into the wind.
Yep.
And I'm going cross current. The current's actually pushing me backwards a little bit. So to be able to do that, the computer is telling the engines which one's in forward, which one's in reverse. I'm not doing any of that. All I'm doing is pushing a joystick where I want to go, and the boat is doing it. I'll give you a couple of examples of what else we can do with the Helmmaster as far as boat control is concerned. So let's say our buddy is on the bow of this boat over here.
All right.
And we want to pick him up on let's make it hard. We want to pick him up on the starboard bow. So I've got to back up diagonally and twist all at the same time to achieve that. The greatest distance that I have is reverse, so I'm going to start by just simply going into reverse with a little bit of a left twist.
Okay.
And I'm going to watch my stern attitude. Now, I've also got my head's on a swivel right now. It's a very busy marina.
Right.
We got to make sure that everything around us.
And you got some really good gusts here right now.
We do.
We
We absolutely
pushing us this
do.
way. Yep.
So I'm just going to swing her around like that. I've got quite a bit of momentum here.
Yep.
So I'm just going to give us a little push left to slow all that down. Right? Now I'm watching my bow, seeing how the wind and the current are affecting me, and we're just going to ease over here to go pick up our friend who's on the bow of this other boat.
Good.
So that's a great example right there of how we can easily manipulate a boat in wind, tide, current, whatever the situation may be, you know, and not be, I'm not nervous at all. I mean, it's just easy to do. And what I tell folks, Eric, is I would say within an hour of you on your boat in let's say an easy Sunday morning where there's not a lot of folks around, in an hour and a half tops, I feel like you would be able to control, novices included, everyone can be able to control their boat like a pro.
I think that's great. So we've shown a little bit about what the boat can do out in the middle of the basin. Now let's show us how you put it back into the dock again.
Sounds like
We're
a great
going to be
idea.
backing in through this narrow alleyway again.
Exactly, with wind and tide and
Exactly.
a whole boat show watching. All right, Eric, so we gave us a nice little demonstration here in the basin of other maneuverabilities with capabilities of the Helmmaster. It's time to head it on back in there. So all we're going to do, we're just going to spin the boat gently, a little touch here to the left, just to correct my attitude. I'm going to slide her on over to the right. in between these $500,000 other boats.
So you're in the walking mode now. We're going sideways, which is what this system is uniquely able to do.
Correct.
Good.
I'm going to get right about where I feel like my stern is going to be clear of everybody.
Now the wind's going to have a tendency to keep the momentum going, so you've got to resist that and get
Sure
it lined
is.
up. You got to stop, and then you got to back it in.
That's the hard part of what we're doing here. The wind is now switched again. It's on my port side, so it's literally pushing me into the boat on my right. So I'm trying to just keep us off of it while maintaining a stern steerage here. We're going to ease her on back in there, just like that.
And you're staying parallel to the dock, just perfect. Very nice.
Nothing
Very
to
good.
it really. All I'm going to do is slow our momentum down here once we get even with my bumpers. One bump forward,
Nicely
just
done.
like that. Take the safety lanyard off, tie us
All right.
up. We're done.
Sean, now I got to tell you, that was a lot of fun, very instructive. I had a great time. Wonderful what you're able to do with this system.
Oh, it truly is unique. It's a fantastic system, and again, I'll just keep going back to, it just makes boating easier. It's gonna give that consumer the confidence
Yeah.
to buy that boat and take it out to the yacht club or out to dinner, park it in situations they couldn't before, you know, and just go have fun at boating again. You know, it's just a fantastic system from that standpoint.
Lowers
So,
stress, lets you get on a bigger boat. And
Absolutely.
Life is good.
Helmmaster fully integrated boat control at its finest.
That's it. Thank you so much for your time, Captain Sean.
No problem,
It's been
Eric.
great spending the morning with you.
Sure has.
Enjoy
sure
the
has.
rest of your stay here in Newport.
I sure will. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Take care.
Uh-huh.